the Samsung Galaxy Note device for the monitor. And now we've got sound. So, hey everybody, welcome to the live stream. I have not done a live stream in a long time. It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Yay! That actually worked. That's kind of cool. And so what we're going to do today is run through the charts and check out what is happening with this crazy market. So I am going to check to see if I can flip here. And you should see a small version of me along with the Bitcoin chart. So that is what we are going for right now. All right. And you know, the screen is so small as I'm looking at the monitor so I can see who's on. It's going to be hard for me to tell and to read these comments because I don't have a moderator. So this is a total new thing for me here. So I have to pull up this chat monitor and it does not allow me to float it on top. So I can't see the comments until I go back and forth. So this is what I am going to do. I'm going to pull this up every now and then so I can check out what the comments are. And then I'm going to minimize the OBS software on the computer screen. So then we're just looking at the small version of me and the Bitcoin chart. And so while I'm waiting for the 30-second delay so I can make sure that that looks correct before I start breaking down this chart so we can look at this dive and see what's going on. Okay, it looks like the chart is all right. So we're going to start off right here. First live chat, first serious live chat during a market event. And we're going to start out with Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. And the reason why I decided to go live was because Bitcoin broke the barrier here at the top of the support resistance zone of 43,130-ish. Now, as you can see, when I flip to the 1-day chart, you can see this support resistance zone a lot more clearly. Here it is right here, this one. And you can see I haven't extended these lower ones yet because we haven't broken through the bottom of it. But these were critical support resistance zones previously when we were bouncing around in this downtrend before we had this massive move upward. So last summer, when everyone thought that we were going to break down to 20,000, I was one of many people who were fooled into thinking that we were not going to break out when we hit this stochastic low point right here. And 30,000 was in fact the bottom. So then we surged out of there. We came back down into this marshy zone here, this little mosh pit. This is the biggest zone. And we bounced off the bottom. We only had a wick that poked through the bottom, but it was able to regain itself on the 1-day chart. And then that's where we launched off up and ahead until we got to the new all-time high. And now we're in the midst of this parallel trading channel in a downtrend. I'll try to delineate this on the chart if I can find it. Parallel channel. This is what I'm kind of going by right now. And so until this is broken, this is kind of how I will respect the Bitcoin action. Okay, there we go. That is the zone that I'm looking at, that we are in. Until we break out of this zone, with this being the upper downward sloping limit, and this is the bottom downward sloping limit, which we appear to be sitting at the bottom of right now, I'm going to respect this downtrend. Okay, so right now, the possibilities for what could happen would be that we bounce at the bottom of this downward sloping line. And if we do not bounce right now, we're going to test the bottom of this support and resistance zone. So let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Let's blow this up here. We can see it a little bit better. And we're going to look at these volume nodes on the VPVR. That stands for volume profile, visible range. And it'll show you the volume in the visible range on the chart. This gives us clues as to where price movement could be attracted to. Notice this node here that's sticking out, and this was at the top of the support resistance zone. I knew that once we started fooling around and coming out of that, it would be a steep drop if it broke, and sure enough, it did. So now we're down here in no man's land where we don't see a volume node. So there's nothing to catch this. Usually if you see a large node sticking out here, you could suggest a short-term target. And right now, the only short-term targets are ones that would be up above if we bounce. So right now, we would assume that if we were to bounce off this line, here's our first target coming back to 43,200-ish. Second target would be at the point of control price, or the biggest VPVR node, at 47,958. If we are to expect Bitcoin to gather itself and break out of this funk, this is where we would expect it to go to, the 43 and then the point of control price right there. So now we got to decide, where's it going from here? Well, we'll have to look at the indications. We'll start out with the 4-hour chart that we are on right now. Anything can happen, and nothing I say in this video is financial advice, and I'm not like all of the big mouth, loud mouth people on YouTube that are trying to make a name for themselves and claim that they can predict the market so they can come back and say, oh, I told you so, y'all listen to me and subscribe to me and hit my Bybit link so I could make a ton of money on these Bybit links here because I know how to predict the market. I'm not doing this for that reason. I do this to help my friends and family to make sense out of crypto so that they can make an educated guess and maybe follow some of the things that I do so that we can all make these gains, because the kids need shoes, okay? My kids need shoes. And I know that if you have kids and you got bills to pay, you're here because you want to invest, you want to have that big come up and ride this wave of what some call the biggest wealth transfer in history, which I have no confidence in, because wealthy people are smart and they're not going to sit and watch all of the wealth transfer out of their pockets and into ours. So we have to play smart and hope that we get some gains. We're not going to flip the richest people in the world. We're not going to be Robin Hoods and see trillions of dollars flow out of their pockets and into ours. They're not unsuspecting idiots. These market makers, the institutional investors, and the professional traders and the whales, they're smarter than us. And they have all day to sit and stare at these charts and make decisions on how they will play us through our emotions, because we tend to invest on an emotional basis. All right, so as we're looking at this, we notice that if I zoom this up a little bit, we do have a wick. We did have a wick, but now it's coming back to the bottom of that wick. We looked like we were touching at this line and it's starting to inch up. Now, if we look at the 1-hour chart, ooh, that looks even worse. Let's just stick to the 4-hour. We'll look at the indicators first. The stochastic is the first thing that I look at. We have two lines. There is a blue line and there is an orange line. Those are the stochastic oscillators. The blue line is the fast line. The orange line is the slow line. When the orange line is superseding the blue line, we are in a downtrend, or we have downward momentum. When the blue line is on top of the orange line and they're pointing up, we are in an uptrend. This stochastic is an oscillator, meaning it goes up and down, it oscillates and bounces between these lines from 0 to 100 as price action is going on. So if the oscillator is moving up, making a nice sine wave like it did for all of this time, yet price is bouncing around and generally moving lower, then this would be a downtrend, because we start with the low point of the oscillator and here's where it corresponds. Then we start with the high point of the oscillator. It corresponds with this high. The next low corresponds to this low, which is a higher low. The next high corresponds with this high point that is a lower high. And notice how these high points were bouncing off of the 50 EMA line. Go to the next low on the stochastic. It corresponds to a lower low. Next high point corresponds to a lower high as we bounced off of the 50 EMA again. Here's the next low point right here with the stochastic low, lower low, so on and so forth. Well, you get it. And then at this point, we had a double top. I call this a double humped camel, where we finally posted a higher high and then yet another higher high. But then as we got to this higher high, notice that the stochastic printed a lower low, the third one in a row. which kind of gave me the indication that touching on the 200 EMA corresponding with this peak meant that we were going to have another rejection. What do we get? We continue the downtrend. Here's the low point on the stochastic. There's the low. We had a double low point, but it was moving up a little bit, but then we had this quick dip down right here. So this low point makes a lower low. And then, of course, as we're moving down, do you see that the high points of the stochastic oscillators are moving down? Oh, that's so ugly. Until we get to this point where we are at the low point. We had the crossover, yet it flipped again, and the blue line dipped below the orange where it is right now. So here we sit at this dip with this red candle, and the price is dipping down. So for right now, I can say that, all right, we're not bouncing yet. Okay, we can't tell. Now, the price line makes the oscillator print where it does. So this is not absolute. Just because we have the blue and the orange, which is the %K and the %D line, diverging, moving away from each other, it doesn't absolutely mean the price will continue down lower. It just means that this is where the momentum is. Now let's look at the MACD. We have an oscillator pair just like the stochastic. We also have the histogram, where we have these bars that bounce above and below the zero line. Okay, so the oscillators, what I notice in my experience on the MACD, they lag behind the stochastic oscillators. Okay? And I use the MACD to confirm the direction, to confirm the momentum, and to also give me an idea of where we are in the bigger picture, in the overall cycle. So while these are 4-hour cycles here, we're at this low point. Where are we in the overall cycle on the MACD? Well, let's take a look. We started way down here, and we had this movement. We have several little humps and crossovers of the MACD oscillators, and we have a high point here. Then we dipped down below the zero line. We came up, and now we have this violent divergence where the blue and the orange move away from each other, and there is a gap in between the two. Do you see that? And they're pointing downward very steeply. We also have bars on the histogram that are printing in the red. Now here you see some light red bars, and that means that we had a change of direction where they're reapproaching the zero line. But then notice the next two flipped back to solid red, which says the momentum is down. So the MACD oscillators confirm the stochastic oscillators, which also confirm this downtrend. Okay, the only thing that I see on this chart that could give us a clue as to when the bottom would get here is this little curvy line right there, and that would be a Fibonacci ring. That is a fib ring. These are not 100% accurate. I used to live and die by these fib rings, but I don't depend on them 100% anymore. But they do give us an idea of where the price can possibly pivot. So let's say we're bouncing around here and we get to this bottom. We could bounce, and notice that with the bottom of this support and resistance zone, we have the crossing of what I think is the 4.618 fib circle ring. And we'll look on the one-day chart and get which number of this Fibonacci ring that is. It could be that we bounce out of here and pivot, because sometimes we get pivots when we cross those rings. All right, I'm going to look at the comments here real quick because I can't see them on the YouTube screen. Let's get this money. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? By the way, I love downtrends. I love dips. I love red days, because these are opportunities for when you can buy, not financial advice. Most people like to buy into runs, and that's my number one cardinal rule. You don't ever buy into a run. You buy when everyone else is selling and panicking, all right? Okay, now someone is saying sell. No, you don't want to sell right now. Why would you sell now? Well, number one, I don't hold but maybe $20 worth of Bitcoin. I'm heavy into alts. That's where my money is, and NFTs, okay? But I use Bitcoin as the indicator of what direction the market is going, because Big Brother Bitcoin determines the direction. Let's flip to the one-day chart. and see what it looks like. We'll scrunch this down so we can get all of the price action in. We'll pull this in like this so we can see all of the nice little price action dating all the way back to the beginning of 2021. And it's a little easier to see here. I'm going to see if I can start my drawing tool. Let's see if I can start ice cream here. And then I can draw on the screen kind of like I do in my videos. So I'm just going to do a full screen screenshot, and then I can draw. All right, we're going to turn drawing mode on. And here we go for the 1 day chart. Now, after we had the peak of the price right here, the general movement of the market has been this way. You see this bouncing between this parallel channel, ending right here today. There we are, right there in the middle of this support resistance zone. Now that we're on the 1 day chart, we can really look at these VPVR nodes, the volume profile nodes, and see where price could possibly get pulled up to or pulled down to. We can also look at the stochastic, which is in a nasty position. Look how low the stochastic cycle is. It's curving down, but it doesn't look like it's made the complete cycle. We don't have a crossover yet, but what we'll see when we get a turnaround is something like this. Let's make this orange. Now I'm going to redraw. I'm going to extend out the orange line kind of like this. Okay, this is what it's going to look like when we get a turnaround. Now I'm going to put the blue line. Let's make some blue here. When we hit the absolute bottom, we'll get what we call a crossover, where the blue line is going to cross over and diverge away from that orange line, and then they'll start to do something like this, and then we start to cycle up. Now, there's no guarantee that we have a nice, smooth sine wave that takes us all the way up to the top. You can see here in the past that we come up, we have head fakes. We have a bunch of head fakes here where we stay down. You know, the price said get down and stay down. And so we had this dip down here to the 20 line, which is the border between the oversold line and the neutral zone. Then we shot up right here to the 80 line, which is the border of the overbought line and the neutral zone. Okay, overbought zone above 80. That's where we're in an overbought condition. So in the past, if you want to know when people were really getting out of hand and we're taking chances, it's where we stay up here in the overbought zone. We didn't stay long right here. We only touched it right there, but we had this ridiculous time period back here where we just stayed in overbought for a long period of time. We also did that here, and we did that here. That's when you're very, very bullish. Okay, so let's just clear that out, and let's look downstairs at the MACD. This set of oscillators here is telling a different story. Look at the azimuth of the oscillator lines pointing downward. And also look at the fact that we crossed over the zero line here, and we're printing red bars underneath the zero line on the histogram. So what this says is we might have to sit here and wait for this blue line. Whoops, let's get a line here. Get the line tool there. We're going to have to wait for this to hit a bottom and to curl on up and start to head upward again. That's what's going to happen when we hit a bottom. But there's no telling how deep this can go, and I'll show you why. I'm going to scrunch in more price history so we can see, here we go, how ugly it got before. During that last dip, look how far down that the MACD oscillators went. Look where we are right now at negative 29.99, or actually right now we're at negative 1978. But we see back here, we dipped all the way down to negative 51.02. And then after that point, we were moving up while price was moving down. You know what that's called? That's called a divergence. So let's just make an arrow here where price was going down. Let's make that red. I'm sorry. When price movement is going down, but then the oscillators are moving up, that's a divergence. So when that happens, that says, hey kids, pretty soon there's going to be a reversal. And what did we get? Boom, we had that. We had a reversal. Then you'll notice that when price was going down, we also had the oscillator going down, so they were in lockstep with each other. Then the oscillators move up, and we have this big movement up in price. They're in lockstep with each other. Right now, price is moving down. The oscillators are moving down. They're in lockstep with each other. We don't see a divergence in those indicators. All right, let's clear that. And let's zoom back in a little bit and let's mess around with these volume nodes. Now, go back to drawing mode. Where could price go? Well, there's two things that can happen right now. Here's the two things that can happen. We can get snatched back up to these nodes here, like this node right there. Let's make that green. We'll make the positive scenario first. Here's a node here. I said make it green. Okay, here we go. There's the first node, and then we have the point of control price here, this big fat one right there. Those are the two places that we could go if we're talking bullish scenario. This is more of a positive scenario. But on the negative end, we have this big fat block of trading volume here. And what this represents, if you don't understand this is how much volume occurs at a particular price. This volume is how much volume happens at a particular time, no matter what the price is. So these bars get bigger as we have more trading volume happening at that slice of time for the chart. So each one of these bars represents 1 day. Why? Because we're on the 1 day chart, where each candle represents 1 day of trading time. And then that candle closes and you move to the next one. The VPVR says this much volume happened at this particular price. So when we look at the bearish scenario, we could fall down into this popular zone here where it's pretty equal. We got a big old chunk, okay, right here. And that would tell me that okay, the biggest node happens right there where it sticks out, and then the next biggest is right here. But anything in that chunk is fair game. Now, let's get the prices on these nodes. For this first scenario, 43,457 would be the most likely immediate short-term target. The next most immediate short-term positive target would be jumping back to 47,680. Both of those things could happen, okay? I don't take anybody's predictions and prognostications for face value. I don't believe anything because anything can happen. One thing I can tell you is, while it's possible we could dip down deep into the crypto abyss, as Crypto Kirby says, someone bought $42 billion worth of Bitcoin today at an average price of something like what? I think it was 46K. Now, why would someone buy that much Bitcoin if they knew that we were going to fall down into this red box here? Well, it's possible, but it defies common sense. So let's look at the pricing here. At the top of this box, it's at about 40,000, roughly 40,000, which, hey, it magically coincides with the bottom of the support resistance zone right there. That's why if we fail the bottom of this box, we get into this zone of slippage where we could slippity slide down to this big node right there, which is 36,111. And then we could trade all the way through the thick of this. And notice where the bottom of this box coincides with this support resistance zone right here that bottoms out at about 32K. All right. Now, the probability decreases the farther you go in one direction or the other, okay? And all you got to do is play it for what you see that the chart is telling you. And right now, the chart is telling us that it's possible that we gather ourselves and we bounce up because we are at the bottom of this stochastic cycle, close to the bottom. However, we are not at the bottom of what this MACD oscillator pair could possibly jump down to, because we saw it before when we scrolled out that it was down below the negative 5,000 line, all right? And we're just at the negative 1999 line right now. That's how you weigh out the possibilities. So if you're thinking that somebody is out there can actually predict what can happen, hey, good luck, because I'm not listening to anybody. I think that 90% of the people that do these videos on YouTube and make their market predictions, they don't know what they're talking about. The biggest ones. Notice that all of your biggest prognosticators out there, what were they saying up until this drop? Oh, Bitcoin is going up. You know, you had George. I listen to George all the time, every day. I love George. But they don't know how to predict the market. Why? Because they can't. He was saying, hey, it's clear skies now. We're sailing up. When we got to this point right here at about, what, 50,000, 52,000, he was basically saying 60K is right around the corner. Here we go, boys and girls. Buckle your seatbelts. It's time to launch. Most of them were. And then what happens? They all come on, oh, my God, the market's dipping. What happened? I listen to BitBoy. I love BitBoy's channel. I love when he gets the panel discussion going on and you hear the different viewpoints. He's usually overly optimistic. He said that we were going to blow up to 60,000 too. What happened? He's scratching his head like, oh my God, look what happened here. We're in the middle of this dump. Okay. I love watching their content and I do find it very valuable, but the only thing I don't listen to is the predictions. That's where you get into dangerous water. Now, what do you do as far as investing? If you're buying Bitcoin, the only way that you can do this is to DCA. And so what does that mean? That means every month, you take your McDonald's check. Oh my gosh, would you look at that? Thank you so much, Poops McGee. Is that it, Poops McGee, from Canada? Or is that California? Tell me where you're from. Or is that Canadian $5? You just made history, my friend. That's the first super chat I have ever gotten. And let me tell you something, thank you very much, because I'm a very busy guy. I got a lot of college tuitions that I have to deal with. The kids need shoes. I work day and night. I have 5 businesses, and I don't have a lot of time to do this. And the cost of doing this YouTube channel, when you add up the internet bill, the licensing for the music, the artwork, getting the professional account for TradingView, and on and on and on, I'm probably spending a couple $100 a month to do this. So thank you. That $5 cuts into that ridiculous overhead of what it costs me to do this channel. So if anybody wants to throw me a little love, hey, by all means, throw me some love. Thank you for that shoe money, my brother. Thank you very much. I like it. I'll tell you what. Let me pull up the audio here. I got to turn drawing mode off. Thank you very much. Yay! You get the first the Little John on the Crypto Pro channel for being the one who went down in history as the first super chat for the Crypto Pro YouTube channel. Thank you very much. If you would message me your email or post a comment or something like that, I might have something special for you to commemorate this moment. All right, now DCA, let me explain that, and then I'm going to get back to the chart, then we'll run through and see what's going on with the alts. What you can do is buy a little today, right, at this price, just a little bit. And then you buy a little tomorrow here. You buy a little the next day if it dips here. You buy a little here. Then it moves up. Buy a little there, a little there, a little there. And you dollar cost average. You can't predict the bottom and you can't predict the top. That's what the biggest mistake I've made in the past is trying to accurately predict this bottom. Can't do it. I was sitting there thinking that was not the bottom. I was waiting for 20K and Bitcoin said, nope, I'm doing this. Well, what I should have been doing was DCAing, where I get a little bit here, and then I get a little bit here, get a little bit there, you know, so on and so forth. Because when you do that, watch what happens when we look at the big picture. Let's look at the 1 week chart, because that's the next one they're going to analyze. Look at this 1 week chart. What if I was DCAing from all the way back here? What if I got a little bit at the peak in 2017 at 20,000? What would that look like now? Would I be crying today? No. What if I bought here when everybody else was crying and blood in the streets after this big dip when we went down to 3,200? That's where you should buy. And then you don't try to get rich overnight. What if you bought at this peak? Big deal. It dipped down again. Look at all these boxes I'm drawing. All right. What if you did all that? Now, your average price would be far below where we sit right here now today. So I know that there's people out there who bought right there and bought right there. You know what you need to do? You need to be patient, because price could do this or that, but in time, it's going to do this. It's going to go off of the screen. One day, Bitcoin is going to be 150,000 or 500,000, and we're going to look back on the days and we're going to laugh when people were crying because they bought at this peak at 20,000. But if you would buy it, set it, and forget it, it'll all work out. You know, I swing trade. I'm not going to say that I don't swing trade. Sometimes I'll buy and sell something months later. Half the time I regret it, but I have made a lot of profit. You know, I'm in the positive overall since I've been in crypto in 2017. But DCA is the way to go, okay? Now, looking at this 1 week chart, let's look at the indicators. And this looks pretty good, okay? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Look at the stochastic. We're not at the bottom yet. We have a big divergence. Here. Look at the orange line, and look at the blue line. They're far away from each other. We also have a big divergence here on the MACD oscillator, but we're down here in the negative. That's good. The histogram is deep down in the red. The stochastic is almost ready to go into the oversold zone. We want to see it get down here because then we're going to know when we hit that true bottom on the 1 week chart. Once we start this next cycle up, that's going to be the real run, guys. All right. And then we'll see something like this happen, okay? It'll sail off here into the sunset. So just look at the previous stochastic peaks, like in this zone here when we had these runs where we had this big bullish romp. And then we look at the dive down and the corresponding low point on the stochastic, which was a higher low as compared to where we started from. And then we have this peak here, which was a lower high. But then on the next peak, we had a higher high. Pretty confusing. So it doesn't always work out where the chart is perfect and pretty. But now we're down in the low. But notice that we're still above this low point from back in May and April. So overall, what's the trend doing? It's doing this. So we don't really need to panic. The only people that need to panic are the ones that spent their mortgage payment, you know, up here at the peak and rent's due, and we're down here. That's why you shouldn't do that. That's not financial advice. Actually, here's financial advice. Don't spend money on anything. You go work your job at McDonald's, you pay your rent. And then you don't have to get caught with your pants down when the market does this. All right, let's turn drawing mode off. Let's jump to the comments, and then I'm going to hit the alts. All right, so the SEC loves BitBoy. Canadian, right on. Okay, this is for you, Poops McGee. Oh, Canada, our home, our native land. Blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada, yada. I don't remember the words. I used to be able to sing the whole song, but I tell you what, Canada, y'all have a rockin' national anthem. I love it. I just love that national anthem. Anytime I go to a sporting event and they also do the Canadian national anthem, man, that's the joint right there. They drops it like it's hot. Kenny, boom. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. Kenny, you get the silver medal. Kenny with the super chat of $15. Yay! Boom. You just made history, Kenny. The second person to super chat me on the Crypto Pro channel. History is being made today. What's up, December? Bitcoin in the house. Dale M. in the house. Milestone. The loss of investing in Bitcoin. Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. Moonboy says, I'm sure the SEC would love to have some coffee and crumpets with BitBoy. I would say so. The Bitcoin network can power 159 countries right now. That's a lot of electricity, isn't it? Good Lord. At 150,000, it could power the world with the energy it uses. I think that technology will continue to increase and we'll have innovation in power, in the power industry. I'm an engineer, and infrastructure is my specialty, manufacturing, environmental. I'm a civil engineer. And I've done work. I do a little consulting out there in the industry grid. And I can tell you that there are big things coming. And so I think it'll all work out in the wash. All right, 2.0 and sharding. What, 2.0 for ETH? Man, I'm telling you what, I'm not believing in all this ETH stuff. I don't know, man. They're saying, you know, it's all this build up to here comes ETH 2.0, and then they start dropping these hints. Well, it might be better to stay with proof of work And then they give all these excuses. If you heard Vitalik Buterin on that speech that he gave about a week or two ago, it almost sounded like he was setting up to let us down and say that, okay, we could do this, but it's going to come at a cost. So we'll have to see. They've been telling us that it's going to happen for how many years now? How many years? But I ain't thinking about ETH and ETH gas fees. I don't deal with neon vibes. Oh, shit. Okay, Jonathan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, send me the lyrics, man. I'll get that song right. I'll have to do it again. All right, so let's get back to this chart here. And we're going to go back to the 4 hour. We're going to look at the alts. Starting with XRP. XRP is making a nice little increase on the stochastic. It's climbing, but the price is going down. That's a divergence. MACD is going down, but we're falling below the point of control price of 81 cents. And volume is not that spectacular. Poor XRP. Let's go to Ethereum. Is looking nasty. Look at this drop off. We bailed off of the 50 EMA and of this big volume node at 37.91. And then there we go. There's not much to catch you down there, Ethereum. Ooh, and we have that same crossover on the stochastic where the %K crossed the %D with a divergence and the MACD is pointing downward. We're back to printing red bars. We're still in the downslide on Ethereum. Litecoin. I have one Litecoin and I'm sitting here watching it about to violate this support resistance zone. It fell off of this volume node at 135 and it's about to break through the floor. Look at this big fat volume bar here. Man, oh man, people's jumping out of some Litecoin tonight. It's looking ugly at 129. It's identical as far as the stochastic and the MACD. Matic, I've got a bag. Of Matic. And it's coming down. The last purchase I made, I think I picked up another 100 at 250. But it's coming down. We're at the point of control price right now. And if it doesn't stick there, we're going to be looking at breaking $2 because the stochastic crossed over. MACD is not looking as nasty as Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we could slide down a little bit further. And the only other thing for Matic is, whoa, dude, there's the what do you call it? The bronze medal. Ran Bravo. Is that it? Did I say that right? Ran Bravo decided to make history. Ran Bravo. Yay! You are the third person to make history, to super chat the Crypto Pro channel. Thank you so much. You're talking truth tonight. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tell you what, I just tell it like it is, and I don't have hidden agendas, and I'm not yet, I haven't figured out how to pay for the overhead of the channel, and based on what you guys are doing, this might be good enough. I'm definitely not ever going to shill Bybit links and do all of that garbage that the fat mouths do. I have a conscience, and I can't live with that. You should never buy on leverage, by the way. If you're fooling around on Bybit, good luck. You got to either be a whale or you got money to burn. Don't ever do that. Don't take chances on that, okay? All right. So Matic, they bought out a bunch of competitors. And I think Ryan Mata, is that how you say his name? If you look back and look at one of his live streams from 3 or 4 days ago, he explains it all. Matic is doing like Facebook where they're buying their competitors, but they're paying them in Matic. Okay, and apparently these people that they've bought out, they can turn around and sell those Matic tokens, and I think it was somewhere around $1 billion. So if they sell and cash out of that, Matic could revisit $1. Now, I think it'll hit a bottom point and it's going to boom after that. But Ryan Mata said he's not buying into Matic right now until we get outside of this danger zone and until we know when these other people are going to jump and sell their tokens, these people that they bought out. All right, let's move it right on along. Solana. I've been in and out of Solana, and I'm still kicking myself because way back when I was talking to my neighbor, Jai Dillon. Shout out to Jai. I think he is down in Texas. He lives across the street from me, but shout out to Jai. He bought $6,000 worth of Solana when it was $25 and I didn't. So then I didn't buy in until it like crossed over 100, but then I sold out at like 225, and then I bought back in at 160, sold at 175, and now I'm just watching it. Look at this, 139, man. That's a steal of a deal. Look at the stochastic, a little bouncy wouncy, but we have a crossover. It is still pointing negative. We're not done yet. We do have a green volume bar here, and we have a green doji. So that's not bad. It might have found a bottom point, but the MACD looks quite divergent, but the stochastic is in the oversold section. So we'll have to look at the 1 day before we decide it's at a bottom point. Now, KDA, Kadena. I'm going to tell you what. Todd, boom. Thank you, Todd. Let me read this question here. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Any thoughts on Saitama Inu? Loaded my bags with that. XRP. Omi. Hey, man, Omi is my homie. I'm sitting on a milli bag of that. Dot. I got a bag of Dot. Baby Doge. I'm fooling around with Baby Doge. I'm down with the memes. Memes are fun to me. Memes are garbage, but they're fun. I had a bag of Shiba, but I sold it. But I'll look at Saitama. I will do a live stream on memes. So stay tuned, Todd, and I'll run through all of that. Now, ADA, I'm still kicking myself because I did not buy in at 10 cents. And I remember I was watching Crypto Wendy O. Shout out to Crypto Wendy O. I love Crypto Wendy O. I was going to have her on the show and had chatted with her a little bit last summer, and I never followed up. But one of these days, I'm going to have the famous Crypto Wendy O visit the channel. But she was saying it's going to bounce up to 15 cents and then may be correct. And I should have listened to her, and it did, and never came back down. But I did end up getting $100 worth, at like $1.20. And I'm going to add a little bit more because it is an alternative. And when the DEX comes out, and there's a few projects, namely, I'll get down to it. It's PBX is one that I'm sitting on that is related. It is on the Cardano blockchain that I have big plans for. COTI, that's a good project. Filecoin. Yeah, I got 10 Filecoin. I'm going to throw a couple more in there. I mean, it's McDonald's money at this point. So I'm going to throw a couple more Filecoin in there, and we'll get to that. But stay tuned. We'll keep this on the main projects, and then, like I said, we will live stream, and we'll do one just on the memes, because I've got this meme project going on, and you'll be surprised when you see what I did, because I invest in them according to the TA. And my best one was where I took a $17 initial investment, and a couple months ago, that was worth I think it peaked out at $850. It's still worth $250, and that would be Yushi. But I digress. Let's see. Carl R., what is up? My homeboy Carl R. from the group on Telegram. I'm running through all of the coins, so I'm going to jump back in here. We're doing alts right now. So we are on Kadena. Anyway, you need to look into Kadena. I got into Kadena at $1.88. I picked up a couple hundred, and then I bought 20 more at $25. So now I need to do what? DCA. I need to be buying right now. I'll probably pick up 10 more while it's below $10 because I said, oh man, after it jumped back up, it's never going to come back down. But if you wait long enough, they'll always come back to you. That's why you should never buy into a run. That's why I shouldn't have bought that 10 extra when it peaked to 25. I FOMO'd, but I only got, couple $100 worth. So, hey, I didn't lose anything because eventually it's going to follow the pathway of Solana. Well, at any rate, we got bouncing around down here on the stochastic. We do have a crossover. It's still looking a little reddish. MACD is still trending downward. We have the blue line, %K, below the orange on both. There's a volume node here at $10, and we're below that. And now we're testing this $9.42 area. Could be a bottom, but it could go further, and we'll have to jump back and look at what it looks like on the 1 day chart when I run back through. I think Kadena is your next Bitcoin. It's the only proof of work scalable blockchain. Do your research on it. I won't even get into it, but watch some Ryan Matta videos, and you'll see why I'm thinking, hey, it's a good gamble on Kadena, man. I mean, if you miss Bitcoin, this might be the chance to get into something that has major potential. Flux. I jumped into Flux at $1.50. I should have bought again at $1, and I did not. So I'm really looking at Flux right now as we're about to cross into the oversold zone. We do have that same crossover again, 2 head fakes, and we have this bearish divergence of the oscillators on the MACD. We're printing red bars on the histogram. So we could be headed, notice how we almost touched on the 200 EMA, and then we wick back up. You see these volume nodes? They snatch the price. They're like magnets. But then there's a magnet down here at the POC price of 184. So if we don't hold on to this node here and move up, as these indicators are still looking bearish, if it doesn't crawl back up here, we're going to get snatched down to the POC. And then the next node sticking out is at 162. The next one is at 143, and then at 122. If we're lucky, we get that. And I'm not banking on that, but I pray that Flux goes down back to this 122 so I can get a pile. I think I'm sitting on 450 Flux right now. Do your own research, find out about Flux and why it's so amazing. It's connected to Cadena. And by the way, watch out for KDX. If you want to jump on the next thing that could be like Uniswap, it's CADX. That's going to be the DEX that is going to melt faces, but we'll get into that at a later time. Koval. I love this project, and Koval's looking pretty good. Notice how Koval, through all of the blood loss, it's still in an uptrend overall. And then we do have a crossover, a bearish crossover here, where we're going to probably jump back down into the oversold zone. MACD is still trending downward to the negative, but look at this. Look at the histogram. We're approaching the 0 line again. I might pick up a little bit more. I've got like 5,000 Koval. If you look and see what this project does, it's cool. You can take bits and pieces of different cryptocurrencies and throw them into one token. You can sell that thing as a token. It's really neat. It like allows you to, it's almost like a derivative platform where you can make your own derivatives and you can sell a slice, a pie made up of several different projects, and you can sell that as a token. But anyway, notice how the dip here, it's not dipping a lot. We're close or near close to a bottom for it, so there's not much you can really lose here. You know, at 11 cents, I hope it goes down to 9 cents because then I can get some more. All right, so let's keep this moving on along. Well, we're moving on up. Actually, we're moving down. KRL, that I bought in at $2, is looking bearish. We have a crossover moving into oversold. MACD is looking negative like everything else. We're getting to the bottom of this big fat volume node here, which tells me it might stick there. But if we fail that, it could be ugly because this next node is at 82 cents. At which point I will DCA big time because that's all you got to do. So I bought at $2. How do I fix it? Buy the same amount at $1, and then my average is at $1.50. Easy fix, right? Chain link, I don't have any, but we're in this strike zone. I draw these boxes of where I want to buy. Chainlink is doing pretty good through the slide, but we're still above the point of control price on this visible range, which is 1981. Bearish crossover on the stochastic where we're in the neutral zone, so we could be floating down here. We might look for the POC price of 19 or less, and it looks like the MACD has some room to go to complete the cycle. Notice how it does this. See, we go bouncy, 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 peak, and then we go down, and then we come up, and it makes a nice little wave. It's like being on the beach and you ride the waves, okay? When you look at these things, it can help you. I mean, I'm not saying that you can predict without a shadow of a doubt when to get in or get out, but at least if you're going to buy, don't be buying something when you know good and dadgum well. If you're sitting at a stochastic peak up here, don't buy there. I mean, sure, it peaked here and it stayed up there, but you should be buying down here when it does this stuff. That's when you buy when people are not buying, and especially like here, okay, here. See, this point here is better than this point here because we're at a bottom on the MACD. See that? Okay. And it doesn't always work because we did get a lower point right here. But hey, it's the best that you can do. So you know if you bought here and it coincides with this price range here, that would be better than if you bought at a peak here or if you were back here buying or right here buying. All right. Well, anyway, I digress. Let me look at the comments real quick. Yes, sir, Kenny. I will keep it up. OpenSea, yeah, I am. What's my... I'll post it in the comments. Post it in the regular comments, and thank you very much. I'd love to have a gift. I am on OpenSea. Let's see. Saitama. Yeah, okay. Saitama it is early on Saitama. Satan mask. Satan mask. Saitama, not Satan. CSPR. Never heard of it. PPL. Never heard of it. I will check it out. Casper, oh gosh, I don't know about that one. I might hit it on the next one. I'll have to research it first before I talk about it, because I don't want to talk about anything that I know nothing about. Because I would feel bad if I said, oh yeah, this looks good, man. It's going to go to the moon right there. This here token, yes, sure. And then somebody jumps in or doubles down and then it hits the toilet. Then I'm looking like BitBoy or something, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to BitBoy. Have me on the show, man. I have much love and respect for BitBoy. A lot of people throw him hate, but I watch BitBoy, and I have a dream of someday being called to be on BitBoy. And I like how he has such diversity, and I know people hate on that, but you know what? BitBoy has Crypto Blood on there, Crypto Wendy O. He has people of all likes, types, and we need that. And I know that one of my favorite people that I watched was going off on people who say, we need to get more women or more minorities or blacks or Hispanics into crypto. And he says, well, we just need to get people into crypto. It shouldn't be women, and it shouldn't be just one race or the other. Well, the only thing is that underrepresented people in crypto, we have to reach out and help because they're not exposed. And so it's a good thing to say we want more women in crypto. We want more minorities in crypto, because where we have underrepresentation, the conservative thing to do would be to reach out and to help people. So that's why I'm here. All right. Anyway, the SOS Open DAO, I'll look into it. All right, let's jump back to the charts. All right. So anyway, Link, there's AMP. Let me just tell you, I like AMP. I have a big fat bag of AMP, and it's not dipping down too much. It's looking bearish like everything else. OMI. All right, so I'm going to have some OMI TA coming very soon, but OMI is looking good, man. I mean, check this out, all right? OMI is my least stressful cryptocurrency that I own. I don't care what the price is. I'm not sweating OMI. I mean, look at this from this low point right here. Look, we're still in an uptrend. And look, we're right here at this volume node, okay? And so we're bearish here and bearish there, but there's a big fat volume node. We're trying to stick out right here. If it dips below this, you might have you some buying opportunities. But overall, I don't care, because I got in at 0.0027, I believe it is. And I'm not selling this anytime soon because there's such a great project behind it. And the Ecomi company is probably going to be looking at $1 billion of revenue this year. So if you're losing sleep on OMI, something's wrong with you. All right. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. CRO. I have a bag. Okay. It's at what? 48 cents. So we're below the point of control price of 56 cents, which is looking a little bearishish. And we have these big fat nodes down below. Target number 1 is 39, and we could do 34 if things continue to get ugly. We have a crossover on the stochastic. MACD is looking bearish. Could bounce right here and come back up. Whatever the case, great opportunity for DCN. And yes, I'm still kicking myself for not buying CRO on my first inclination, which was back at 4 cents. And shout out to Bullzilla123, because he was the one that was hammering CRO into my head. And I finally listened, and I started buying, I think at around, I don't know, 15, 20 cents. And then I kept buying all the way up to like 50 cents. I'm still in the black on it. Overall, my DCA average might be like 30, 40 cents. But CRO, it ain't going nowhere. Let that sucker dip down to 30. Big deal. Get some more. I mean, they got the name on the arena, man. Do you know how big this thing is going to be in a year? Don't stress it. Red days like this are positive. XPR, okay? XPR, whoo, at 1.5 cents. I do have a bag of XPR, and it's looking ugly. We're way down here with a crossover in the oversold zone with the MACD looking very ugly too. Yikes. All right. I can't remember what my... Oh, I'm good on XPR. I started my biggest bag of XPR was at 0.008, so I don't care. And I bought more at like 2 cents, 2.5 cents. I ain't worried about XPR. And I also own the loan token. Do your homework and find out how to buy the loan token through their DEX. Okay, I have like 200,000 of the loan token. All right, moving right along. XYO, I do have a bag of XYO, and it's 2.9 cents. I bought in at 3.2 cents. It's looking bearish. Both the MACD and the stochastic. Let's blow through the rest of these real quick. IOXT, I've got a big bag of that. I'm sitting on 10,000 of it at 10 cents. I started buying IOTX. I started buying it at what? 5-6 cents. Internet of Things, man, it's solid. It's going places. Anchor, I'm really kicking myself on Anchor because I should have bought it at 0.005, and then it went to a cent, and I was waiting for it to correct, and it never did. But I do have a bag. I bought in the first time at 8 cents, so hey, it's all good. Anchor ain't going nowhere but up. Jasmy, I do have a bag. Jasmy, do your homework on that, okay? Shout out to Red Dad, Blue Dad, and Underdog Crypto. These are the guys who turned me on to Jasmy, which is into IoT. It's connected to the manufacturing sector. This is a Japan project where the project engineers or the leaders of the project are former Sony CEOs. Anyway, it's looking positive. Look at this stochastic crawling up. I think we've already bottomed out on Jasmy. I bought in at 6 cents, so I'm in the black on it. And see, here's the thing, guys. When you buy when nobody else is buying, when you get them at the low points and you don't buy into runs after everything is peaked out, then you could be chilling like a villain, like me. I'm chilling, man. I'm not sweating this drop because I'm in the black on most of this stuff. ACH, I do have a bag. And also on ACH, I was going to ape into ACH at 0.005 and I didn't. And then it blew up. It got on Coinbase 2 days later and it went to 23 cents. So I finally bought in at 6 cents. It's where I bought it in at. And I'm just, getting a little bit here and there. I should have gone with my instinct because ACH fit the criteria of my research project group. I started this group and I tried to keep it focused. It was hard to keep everybody focused in the group, but I set up this set of parameters with the goal to find the next club banger projects before they hit big, like ACH. And I said, if it is listed on KuCoin, Bilaxy, which Bilaxy got hacked, or Hotbit, where I don't have to get it on Uniswap or Unislop or Pancake Slop or do ETH gas fees or any of that craziness, if it was on a major exchange, if it was less than a cent, if it had decent token metrics, if it had a very decent chart, if the on-balance volume was going up, if it had an interesting project, if the development team was active, if they were active on the GitHub site, if they were active on Twitter and social media, and if they were solving a unique problem and they had some unique market advantage, then it could be a club banger. So BPro was another one. I found BPro at first at 0.003. Now it's dipping pretty darn far down there now. But after watching all of these projects that Bullzilla 123 found, I said I need to make my own process of finding these hidden gems before they break out big. But it was hard to keep the group focused on the criteria, but we did get a lot of them that came out of the bag, and I have several. I got like 20 that are in there right now that haven't broken a cent yet. Anyway, ACH, that's a good one. Unislop, I've got a bag here. I think I bought it $14. I was in and out. I had Unislop at $2, and unfortunately, I didn't use MetaMask Unislop until like a week after they did the big airdrop. My buddy Simon had used it, and he was trying to get me to use it, and he did get the airdrop. But Uniswap ain't going nowhere, man. And the big news on Uniswap is they're on the Polygon network. So now when you go here, let me just show you, okay? I just sent my ETH out finally back to Coinbase. I ain't got no money up in this thing. So here's the Matic mainnet right there. Boom. I've got Smart Chain and Go Chain. But boom, you can start using MetaMask on Polygon. So there's not going to be any gas fees. All right, let me look at the comments real quick, and then I'll move it on. And then we're going to look at the one-day chart. Isn't OMI actually bad? No, it ain't bad. The OUP, the OOP, has no ROI or staking benefits. Supposed to be bad this year, maybe 2 cents at most. Are you kidding? 2 cents would be great. Do you know how much money I'll have at 2 cents? Let's see. Let me think. My initial investment at $2,200, if we hit 2 cents, it's going to be worth $20,000. Guala Guala. It's like Gullah Gullah. Are you from Gullah Gullah Island? Ragu on Balagan. Dang. Man, my brother Ragu, he owe me whale, dog. He got 10 million. Go ahead, man. Get your OMI, homie. Yeah, don't miss the opportunity on CRO. I agree, Jonathan. Yeah, I want more OMI, but I need to be satisfied. I'm spreading out my money. I mean, I got 1,024,971. That's enough. I can like, do that. I've been investing in crypto since 2017. I started investing in 1999 when I was hot dogging on the OTC BB and buying NASDAQ small cap stocks, where I learned how to do technical analysis. So I've been around since the dot-com bomb, and that's where I learned how to do this. And then I first knew about Bitcoin when it was like $1. And I said, I want to mine Bitcoin. This is cool. I'm going to do this. And I thought, but what can I spend it on? I can't find anything that I can spend it on, but this is the coolest thing. And I was like, oh well. Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, but that's why I'm going big on alts, because I'm not ever going to have an experience like that again. Charlie Hustle says, XRP, please. Check the replay. I did cover it. I am going to get my XRP bag again. I had like 2,500 XRP, and I went in, out, in, out. XRP is a tough one, and we're going to have to wait through the lawsuit, and it'll be a long ride, a long, tough ride, but eventually I think it'll work out. It's worth the gamble. You got to roll them dice. You got to roll them. All right, moving right along. Let's look at HTR. Hathor, looking bearish. I sold my Hathor at $2. I bought in at $1, and I'm going to buy back in. See, that's how I swing trade sometimes. Because like when it hit $2, I was like, let me sell this so I can get some more flux, and I put that into flux. So if we hit this node at $1.17, which is the next target, if we fall below this node at 141, I'm 8 back in. This is bearish, that's bearish, but we don't know if it'll hold. UMB, 26 cents. I do have a bag of UMB, and I am looking to dollar cost average. There's Filecoin. All right, I do have a bag of Filecoin, and $30. That's not bad. I had sold out before. I bought into Filecoin before at like 25 to $40, sold out at 125, bought back in at like 40 to 50, sold out again at 65, and then started buying again at 40 and below. So I'm DCAing right now, but Filecoin ain't going nowhere. It's looking good, man. This crossover right there is going to go on down. We might hit this node over below that node. Hang on. Okay, there's not much left below where we're at. If it goes below this, man, look for the dollar days. We might get back to like $25, which would be great. If it does that, I'm picking up an extra job at McDonald's so I can get more. ASM, I do have a bag, and I am in my strike zone box. This is where I should be buying because I'm at the bottom of my strike box. My average price on ASM is $12 or 12 cents. I like the project. Wow. I should buy now because we don't know. It might bounce at the bottom of the strike zone box here. It could go lower, but I'll pick up a little bit. Auction, I got like 5. I shouldn't have bought it. I don't know enough about it. FX, I bought that. I don't know enough about it. I have that at $1. CFG, I bought it at $1, sold it at $2 because I like Chico crypto. I like Tyler. And 80 cents, that's a bargain. I don't know what the project is doing, but it's looking like it's going lower. All right, so anyway, PLA. I like PLA. I got a bag. It's at $1.20, looking bearish. Cross over here. It has room to go down below $1. GMEE. I do have a bag. Yay! And I also think that, okay, 19 cents, we're at the volume node. This could be it. I'm going to buy some more, and it could go lower. And then Gala, okay, I got a bag, 35 cents. My average price is at 45, so I might pick up a little bit more. Ethereum name service, man, at $29. Yay! Okay? Man, Ethereum name service. Come on, people. This is a steal. if you're going to gamble. That's not financial advice. Only invest what you're willing to lose. Let me do one more here. DOT. Let's scroll down. Down, 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 down. Keep. I bought in at 40 cents, sold at like 80 cents. I might buy back in. It's a good project. There's Polkadot. I've got like, what, 20, 30 Polkadot? I might get some more. And there's BPro. Look at BPro. See this blue line? That's my DCA price, 0.0068. So I can buy down here and pull that average down. See, that's how you DCA. And self-key, man, I tell you what, I invested $400 in self-key, and from swing trading, I flipped that to like, oh Lord, $4,000, and I spread that out over a bunch of other projects. XLM, which I use to transfer money from Coinbase to KuCoin without paying gas fees. It's a good little trick that you can use, boys and girls. Xcur is looking like excrement. Oh gosh, man, I first bought this at like $10 and it's just went to the toilet. But, you know, hey, what the heck? I might buy a little bit more. I've bought from $6 all the way down to $1. It'll come back. Telcoin, which is a steal right now at a cent. I've got, what, 30,000 in Telcoin. I'll probably get some more. VeChain is looking bearish. VThor is looking bearish. I've got a little VeChain and I've got like, I don't know, 50,000 VThor. I might double that bag because it's at 0.005. I said to myself, if it goes to 0.005 again, double the bag. VRA, 0.027, man. That's looking good. And going lower. That's nice. And here's Cardano. Cardano is poking its head up a little bit, but this bearish crossover says it might be going back down. There's Doge, 15 cents. Hey, listen to this. I bought 200,000 Doge at 0.0025 and I sold at 0.0035 the summer before last. I had no reason to sell that, man. But back then, Doge was dog crap. I mean, it still is, but, you know, people believe in it, so whatever. There's Marsh looking great at 39 cents and going lower. I'm waiting to get a bag of that. Elron Gold at 201, looking bearish. This is fantastic. Graph. I had 1,000 Graph. I'm waiting to get back in it. You can see my strike zone box where I swore I'd buy it if it went below 65 cents, but I haven't gotten it yet. Block, kind of cool. BitBoy and Crypto Wendio are into this. I don't like the circulating supply, but you know, look at how far up it went to like 20 cents from where it is right now. It might have possibilities. I was a long-term holder of Loom. I had bought Loom at 2 cents and sold out, oh man, like 20, 30 cents. I made thousands of dollars on Loom. I had like 20,000 Loom and I spread it out. DNT, District 0X, is a good project I'm going to jump back into. I made like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on Loom, swing or DNT. I bought DNT at 0.007 on Coinbase Pro when it first came out and got listed. Man, all these projects, Civic. I had Civic at 2 cents. I had Mana at 5 cents. I sold Mana at $1.20. Ouch. But when Mana crossed 10 cents, I said it's too expensive now. Good God. Now, Civic, when Civic gets back into the bull zone, it's going to melt faces. It really is. I need to buy back into it. It's in my strike zone. I just don't have the money right now because I'm too spread out. I'm horribly unfocused. I'm ADD if you can't tell. G&T have been in and out of that. I made a few $1,000s on G&T. Harmony, 30 cents, looking good, man. We got a crossover here. It might dip down a little, but overall it is strong, and it's a great project. I first was going to buy into Harmony 1 at a half cent, and I was waiting for it to go lower, and I didn't. I've been watching it go up since then. And then I bought in at, I think, 10 cents, sold out at 25, at least made money from it. Whatever. TDK, 17 cents. Terra Luna, Terra Virtua might dip a little bit lower. I think Terra Virtua is going places, man. It could do stuff. Now, here's Mana. I hate looking at Mana. Good God. $3.23. That just makes me sad. Theta, I'd like to get Theta. It's at $4. Theta's a solid project. One of these days, I'm going to buy Theta. Holy moly, Thundercore is at 0.009. All right, let's go back to the top. Let's get to the one-day chart real quick. Let me look at the comments see what everybody is saying here, and then we'll look and see what this looks like on the 1-day chart. All right, what do we have here? Okay, ETH UST pair, UST. Is that the stable coin coming out from, isn't that connected to Flux? I don't know much about that. Luna is a good one. Immutable X is too new. I have not covered it. I like the project, but I don't know. It's not one that jumps out at me to buy in and make a bunch of money from just yet. It's too new. It doesn't have enough price history for me. Thanks for the hard work from Philly Faithful. Thank you. One of the best VV YouTubers for sure. Thank you, Neon Vibes, my homie. I appreciate that. What is SOS? Let me just type it in here. I don't remember much of, let's look at the SOS. Oh, good God. It's sliding. Okay, so that's SOS. SOS is putting up an SOS. All right, so on the 1-day chart, Ethereum, ugly. Good God. All right. Litecoin at 129. Notice how the MACD is winding up closer to the zero line, and we're down here kind of in oversold already. We might be ready to settle in. Bottom point could possibly be at $115. Matic at 212. Overall uptrend looking very strong. Crossover. Man, Matic don't give no you-know-whats. Wow, man. MACD is divergent, but it looks like it's already at a bottom. And see this crossover about to happen? If that doesn't turn into a head fake and go back down into here, Matic could be ready to move on up again. Good Lord. That's interesting. Matic is just Matic. And just since we started, $1, $140 Solana. Wow. All right, but we have a crossover here on the 1 day. That's kind of nice, which could mean that it's at a bottom. MACD says it might not be a bottom, but overall, we went below the 200 EMA. So that could be the end of the dip for Solana. If it goes much below that, I'll be surprised, because there's nothing down here. There's a node at about 113, but we're already at the peak of this node at 140. So that might be it. I don't know. KDA on the 1 day, crossover happening. I think I'm going to pick up a little bit, because we're below this big node, and the next one is down here at $7. All right, that's the worst case scenario. I don't see it going back to the point of control of $1.20. Oh no, that's not going to happen. It's wishful thinking. Or the 250 ain't going to happen. We might be at a bottom on this, and like I said, if we're lucky, 770. If Bitcoin can continue to fall and bring me some $7 Cadena, I'm jumping on, man. Flux is looking ugly. Whoa, looking very ugly. Look at that. All right, so on Flux, when you look at this, you see that we have a steep angle down, even though overall you look at, it kind of looks like an uptrend on these dips. So we have this, and this could be a flip point. That's one way of looking at it. And the other way is that we're in clear downward momentum and a crossover coming up on the MACD oscillator. Let's make that red. See this crossover about to happen? It's getting close. So if this happens, dang it, I want an arrow. If we get a crossover there, then correction city. And then we can come down here and get back down to $2, and then I can pick up some more. I might sell the couch, man. I want 1,000 Flux. I'm telling you what, I'm ready to load up on Flux. Boy, Koval. Wow. See, that's good looking. See, everything is not bad. Look at Koval on the 1 day. Look at this. See, this is solid. Look at these lows. You see this? This is an uptrend. What do we expect next from here? A pop. All right. And as long as we stay on this ascending base here, that's a solid project, man. That's solid. I don't see any indications yet that we're like entering a bear market. Even though I would welcome it, I don't mind. If Bitcoin goes into a bear market, big deal. That means we get to buy for a year. You get cheap prices, man. Why does everybody fuss and cuss about people talking about a bear market? I don't understand it. Explain that to me. So what if people say we're in a bear market? What if we are? And what if Bitcoin goes and goes to 30? That's great. Get a chance to buy, because when we come out of it, you're going to be rich if you know how to play this right. All right, anyway, let's go real quick. KRL. KRL's looking good. Looking good. Big peak, big dip, winding up to the zero line. Stochastic is already in oversold, so we might already be at a bottom or nearing $1 and change for a bottom. Chain link, crossover. We could dip down lower, but the MACD is looking bullish. So this could do one of these numbers where it jumps back up here. Chain link always performs well. It ain't going nowhere. AMP. Already in oversold. MACD is already underneath. Negative bars on the histogram. So we could be like and ready to plow off. Whenever AMP breaks out, it's going to break out hard. Get out of here, you stupid. I hate that weather thing on Windows. All right. OMI looking great. You see this? Look at this, guys. See? Look at OMI down here trying to make a crossover. Go ahead with your bad self. MACD is down here in this negative zone, but it's wanting to finish that. Let it finish. See, we've got this big old move up here. It wobble, 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 peak, fall, wobble, fall. And now we got wobble, wobble up. Maybe it'll do the next something like that. And see, we're already here. So then the next move is going to be up. Look at the base. Look at this. You see this? You see that? You see this? That's what you call an overall uptrend. That's why I'm not worried. If it fails this and comes down to something like that, which it's probably not, this is probably the lowest it's going to go. Don't quote me. But whatever the case, I'm not worried. All right. Let's clear that and continue on. CRO. Close to a bottom. If we're lucky, it could come down to the 200 EMA. If it comes down to the 200 line, it might meet it around 36 cents. We're in oversold, but steep angle downward, MACD pointing downward. We could test the 200 EMA, all right? So we're definitely not bouncing up out of this just yet. Clear downward momentum on all the indicators. XPR. You know, it's looking all right. XPR is cool. Proton. If we come up out of here, out of these bases, it could be doing something like this. All right, so we could jump down to a cent, bounce up, make the next big movement. All right, moving right along. XYO is looking ugly. We're still oversold, and both of these are moving down in a crossover on the MACD. But I like XYO, the project, and they've been doing a lot of advertising. Thank you very much. There's another super chat. I'll be darned. It's my man, Poop. Thank you. Poops McGee. Awesome. Live stream. Will you look at H-bar? For that, I will. I'll pull up H-bar next. So XYO has the coin token, and they do like a geo mapping type of deal. Look it up. Look up the XYO project and look what they're doing, and look at the coin token. I ordered the card that does the geolocation. They had a special where you got the $100 card for free plus shipping with $12 shipping over Christmas, and I got it. So I can earn coin tokens everywhere I go in the car. Good project. All right. What did you say? It was H-bar. Yeah, H-bar. H-bar is a good project, though. We'll look at H-bar. We'll do H-bar. Let's see. Probably get the most history of it on the Binance exchange. Wow, H-bar is looking good. Looking good, man. Dang. Okay. You can't lose with this. I mean, overall, look what you're looking at coming out from the beginning of the year 2021. Look at this. We meet this point here. We meet this point here. It's respecting this 200 EMA. You know, it goes down and above the 200 EMA. You know, we could jump down here to the 30 cents, maybe 28 cents, and then probably are going to surge again forward. The MACD and the stochastic are bearish. This is a bearish crossover. So what it'll probably do is got to finish this cycle down, because everything is looking down. So it's probably not going to head fake and jump back up out of this, because the MACD is crossing over right here. So this is going to go like this. And then notice how we're printing red bars on the histogram. So this will complete. This will complete. And, you know, if somebody were to get in it, now's a good time to buy it. You know, buy now. DCA all the way till it hits this green line here. Okay. This is the time to get you some head or a hash graph. All right. Very good timing on it. Let's pull this over here. So it could hit this volume node here at 26 cents and then bounce up since we've lost this price of 31 cents, or it could get snatched back up here to the peak of these two nodes. Okay, so that's solid, man. I'd give that that's respect, man. IOTX is looking pretty good. Oversold. We could jump down to the 200 EMA. That's the other thing. Usually look for the 200 EMA. Look in history. We bounced off of it here. We come down, almost touched it here, but we didn't. Almost touched it here, but we didn't. It could be the same right here. We could bounce off of that, and then away we go. And that would coincide with rounding this off on the stochastic. So here's Anchor. Same thing. It needs to dip down in here. Anchor's got a little bit. It's going to dip below. We're already below the 200 EMA line. Anchor could hit 7 cents. If it does, it's a good place to start to buy. Jasmine is looking good because it's not going to go much lower. I mean, look at that. Look where it came from, though. It was like way, way, way high and then flat line. This is when it's in the dog days, laying low like a dog on the ground. That's when you buy. And I should have bought it then. I think I got it like right in here. The second time it was laying down low. No, I got it like right here before it launched off. All right, ACH. Could go lower, but probably not much lower. I think it'll probably respect this previous low point of 0.049, 5 cents, okay, would be a good bottom point at the completion of this stochastic cycle. We have this crossover about to happen on the MACD. We should pull this down to here and then let us get down to this low point of a previous low. And if it fails that, I don't know what'll happen, but it probably won't. Uniswap could probably, I don't know, once we get down here, we may revisit 14 bucks. I don't see it going lower than that. Header HDR, Hathor. 200 EMA is down here at $1.17. If it does that, that's good enough for me. I'll jump back in. Whoa, Renee Leal. Thank you very much for the super chat of $4.99. Because my kids need shoes. I appreciate that. Yeah, wow. 6 cents on H-bar. Lucky you. My man Poops McGee in the house at a DCA of 6 cents. Hey, check it out. I'm gonna be busting a rap pretty soon. I've got a friend of mine whose son is in 9th grade and he makes beats. And I have like a rap I'm gonna do. You guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be my live stream rap that I'm gonna do at the beginning of every live stream. It's coming on in the next one. So shout out to my little homie Andrew. Yay! Lives in Columbia, Missouri. Filecoin. Yes, sir. Now see, look at this. We can still go down here and oversold on Filecoin, but we're approaching the zero line. See, this is winding up. This is what you look for, all right? Let's make a line. You go something like this. We go, woo, whoa, whoa, whoa. And see how the volatility is slowing down? We're coiling up around the zero line. And then pretty soon, one day, we get another one where it goes, woo, whoa, okay? And then it does, like that. That's how you do it, okay? See, this tells you that when you hit a peak like that, notice how this peak goes here with the price peak, and then you have this dip here. That's a good point to buy. And there's no way you would have known that it would have gone lower, but at least this is a point that tells you that it's a good low point. And then you have a low point here that corresponds with this one. It's a good buy point. And now we have a really good low price here where we're getting into oversold and staying down here. And that's why I'm going to pick me up a couple more. Know what I'm saying? You dig me? All right, ASM. Ooh. Okay, if ASM falls out of this box, man, I don't know how low it could go. But see, there's not enough price history. That's why I really generally don't buy new stuff, but it was on Coinbase. So I jumped on. Auction, that's looking ugly. I should have bought it. Let's look at FX. Ugly. Play. Crossover right there. This could be a bottom. I need to get some more play. If this is not the bottom, it'll hit this node at the POC price. Point of control at 99 cents. Worst case scenario, 72 cents. Those are going to be DCA points for me. GMEE can go lower. I should not be buying it yet because it's probably going to hit this node at 15 cents. Because this needs to come down in here. See? And this is nasty, but it could languish low for a while. Gala Games. Cross over here. That's bullish. But this is bearish. And there's not much on the VPVR. Not enough price history. So there's a chance we could get lucky and it could hit this 24 cents node. It ain't going to come back down to 9 cents. We're beyond those days. I'm going to pick up a little bit more. I could DCA this all the way down to this little mini node at 22 cents. But with this crossover, let me show you what could happen. It doesn't mean that it's going to cross over and do this. It's not guaranteed. Here's what it could do. It could do that. Okay? And then it could do that. So just because you have a crossover doesn't mean it's an absolute reversal of trend. Dang! My boy, Pooh Bear G, Pooba G up in the house with a super chat of $10. Thank you very much. Let me read the message. I got a mouthful of TikToks so I can talk. Okay. He said, thanks to VV channels like you, I have been given the courage to create videos for a channel of my own. Post the link, man. Post the link. Pooh Bear. By the way, I didn't take my BMO off. The sale pass. Oh, it's gone. Oh, man. Okay. Dang. Definitely post the link to your channel. Everybody go check out Pooba G up in the house with his new VV channel. Okay, check him out. All right. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Big time. Okay, so Ethereum name service. Probably getting close to a bottom. I don't see it going much further below where it is right now. I mean, you can buy this below this point at any time, and it's going to be fine because, I mean, come on. Ethereum's name service, do you really think it's going anywhere? It ain't going nowhere. I'm going to get a couple more. I think I got like 5 right now. There's Keep. Keep's doing good. It's going to come down a little, but it's probably going to hit this volume node at 43 cents and then boom up again. Polkadot. Worst case scenario is this node down here at 15 bucks. But I'm thinking 21 is about all we're going to get. We've already fallen below the POC, and we're coming into the slip zone. Okay, what's the slip zone? Slip zone is when you get into this area where you don't see as much volume. So it's like we stick to the big nodes, and then we slip and stick to the big node, then we slip, stick to the big node. So I call that the slip zone. That's my own word. I made that up. I'm the first to coin that term. Yeah, man, drop that link, dude. Drop it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to share. All right, B-Pro. That's ugly because we got 2 head fakes and a bearish crossover and an MACD that's looking weak. B-Pro could be at 0.0036 in a blink of an eye. Dang. But that's okay because it just means I'm going to buy more. I'm going to triple the bag. I'm going to get a nighttime job at McDonald's. I don't work a job. So I'm an engineer. I'm a consultant engineer. And I retired from the state 2 years ago, and I do my own work. And so I have a body shop. I have a channel, actually, on YouTube. It's called Color Boss Custom Auto Body, if you want to see it. I also do marketing work. I have a health business. I'm a fitness trainer, but I don't do that for money. I just volunteer. Yeah. Self-key is looking ugly. If we can get self-key below a cent, I'm going to get a very large amount because I love the project. And notice how we failed the 200 EMA line right there. Because see, we got this nice trend going uppity, and then we're poking below it. And we got this volume node here at 0.0099. That's where I'm going to start to DCA more. I do have a bag of self-key. I do have the self-key on my phone. I use the self-key wallet. Okay. So, moving right along, mate. Moving right along. I wonder if JT, are you in the house? Let me jump on Telegram. I got to tell JT to sign in. Hang on a second. Here we go. Are you on the live stream? JT is my up-and-coming crypto accountant. JT is the reason why I'm a VV whale. Why can't I hit the send button? Hit send. Dadgone it. Forgive me for the technical difficulty. There it goes. All right. I just wanted to make sure he knows. So shout out to JT. My little homie down in the South. In the dirty South. Okay. Now, JT and Adam out in the UK. Shout out to Adam in the UK. Adam and JT are the reason why I'm where I am with VV. I owe it all to them. When I was buying crap off the market during the days that people didn't know what it was, and they're like, buy. Adam will always say, buy. Colton, you got to buy right now. This stuff's going to be amazing. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like buying. I'm like, I'm going to be broke. I hope I get this money back. And now some of those things that we bought have 1,000x'd. It's kind of crazy. So there's excrement, looking very nasty. Excrement could go down to $1, guys. And if it does, I might buy more. Telcoin. Telcoin's going to go down below a cent. There's nothing holding it. It's below this node here at 0.0116 and falling. And plus, it got listed on CRO, and that did nothing. VeChain is falling. We're below the POC. This is slipping. VeChain, I don't see anything holding it. Once we dip down into here, it could be 654 cents. Good Lord. Dang. Okay. VeChain could be like 5.7 cents. That's worst case scenario. It's either going to stop the bleeding right now and move up, or it's going to fall down here to this node at 0.059, 0.057. That's it. Thor, ooh, that's looking ugly too. We're below the volume node at 0.0063. There's nothing to hold it. There's a slip zone down here, and it's looking very ugly. Where this stops, nobody knows, because we have a bearish crossover in the MACD, and the stochastic is already down here in ugly land. It needs to put on the brakes like right now, because there's nothing that's going to hold it if it does not hold that. Favorite music, hip hop, R&B, everything. I like everything. My son is like freedom rock, heavy metal, classic rock, or nothing. My kids like all sorts of music, gospel, country music. I'm big into country music, like 90s country music, the kind that they played, in the clubs. Country music that has the hip hop beat. I love that. What else? Classical music. I am a musician. I am a trombonist. I also play several other instruments. Anything I can spend more than 5 minutes figuring out, I can play it. VRA could go down to 1.8 cents. But we have a crossover here. It might be at a bottom, but the MACD says no, it could get uglier. So we'll have to wait and see. If it fails where we're at right now, the target would be 2.2 cents or 1.8 cents. But it needs to snatch itself up, and it could jump right back up about 3.4 cents. We'll see. Roll your dice on that one. ADA is bottomed out here. I mean, hey, what? We're already at the thick of the volume node, and it's sticking. Crossover coming right here, although the MACD looks weak. I don't see it going less than $1.20. If it does, lucky for us. Very lucky. I have a theme song. As I was saying, I got that rap on my bust that my little homie, Andrew, made my beat. But that will be on the next live stream. So Doge... Who cares? There's a crossover here, but the fast line is already curling over. MACDs looks nasty. If Doge does not stick at 12 cents, it's going to fall down here to 6.7 cents. Yuck. Marsh, it's not looking good. Marsh could go down to what? Oh, it's already at 50 cents. I was going to say it's going to go to 50 cents at this node, but it's below that. There's no telling what Marsh could drop to. It's a good project, though. Elron Gold is already below when we started this. This is looking bearish here. We got a divergence happening, a head fake and a double crossover. Got double crossed. We have an MACD crossover here. Next volume node down at 178, and then the big one at 143. And we have failed the 200 EMA. We were between the 200 and the 50. Now we're below the 200. So put your parachute on, boys and girls. We don't know where that one's going to fall to. How many people are watching? There's 18. Graph, 59 cents. 57 cents. Yeah, it's negative. We're still moving down. We're below the 50 and the 200. And now the 50 EMA line is below the 200. This is a death cross. That's ugly. Graph, not a good time to buy graph. Block is going down. Well, we got a cross over here on a flat MACD. The VPVR doesn't show any evidence of where it could stop. It's either going to go back up to 6 cents or it could fall all the way down here to 2.5 cents. Let me see if there's anything else on here, because that's about all I've got. Let's end on the 1 week and just remind ourselves of where we are in the big picture on Bitcoin, so we don't all panic, and know that it's a part of a process. All right, that right now, okay, the MACD and the stochastic needs to do this so we can have another cycle. MACD needs to do this and have another cycle. And what's price going to do? Something like that, you know. All right. And that's why I just see nothing below 30. I don't even see 30 happening. If we get right here into corresponding prices around, you know, let me turn drawing mode off. You know, 30s-ish, 33 at worst case, 37. These support resistance zones, which I'll pull out on the next report, and we'll look to those. If we fail these, then we'll know what's going on. But overall, just look where we're at in the process and know that everything will be all right. Everything gonna be all right. It will be all right. So that's all I want to say right now is that, look, things will turn around. If we just keep our eyes on the big picture, we know that the economy will be coming back very soon. We can't panic. It's not a time to panic. This is a time to look to the future and to look to the strength of the American people and the cryptocurrency sector, which is a great sector with lots of brilliant minds, brilliant developers, and excellent projects that are going to be bringing us into the next digital age of currency. So keep hope alive. I do believe strongly that everything will be all right. So sleep well tonight. Thank you very much for joining me on this monumental first live stream. And thank you so much to all of those who super chatted me. I so appreciate that. And you made history. You made history today. And please send me your email in the comments, because I might have something special for you. That is all I've got. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Whoops. I got to turn drawing mode off and I got to get that ending again. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Yay! And I am out. Now, the next thing for me to do is figure out how to stop the streaming. Peace out.